And a welcome in here to KB Willett Arena. You are listening to Pointers Hockey right here on WWSP, Stevens Point 90 FM, your only alternative. And you can also watch the game right here on SPTV's YouTube channel. Will Haroldson, Brody Kupsky up here on the call. Maddy Larson doing the camera work for SPTV. Brody, good to be back in here in KB Willett Arena. Good to have you back here. What are you looking forward here tonight in tonight's game here between Northland and Point?
So we're looking for a great matchup between both sides. Obviously, Northland being 1-19-1, you're not going to get a whole lot out of them, maybe. But the way that they played against Eau Claire this past weekend, or last weekend, they're not afraid to play. Pointers, it's senior weekend almost, and they're ready to play and just ready to win the conference here.
They're ready to get closer to a conference win if they can pick up 2 wins today and tomorrow. We got the national anthem coming up here. We'll let you guys listen in and get right back here to hockey action. Nice job done as always, but Brody, let's look at this historical matchup as of late. So Northland joined the WIAC after the 2018-19 season. So their first season was in the 2019-20 season, and since that there have been 10 matchups between Stevens Point and Northland, and the series as of right now is in favor of Pointers. For the Pointers by a pretty large margin. It is 8-1-1 for Stevens Point in the last 10 matchups against Northland. 50 goals scored over the last 10 games. Do the math, it's 5 goals a game against this team. And UWSP has won 2 WIAC regular season championships since Northland joined. And yeah, that is just back in December 7th of 2019 was Northland's only win. Since then, it's been losses and ties. Just been utter dominance.
I mean, pretty much, and that's due in part to the Pointers just being successful. And I mean, Northland, I don't know, they just didn't get enough recruiting, and it's not great. But that's due in part to Pointers' success the last few years.
Look at the overall record since 2019, the 2019-2020 season. That was Northland's only victory. Stevens Point has been 59-22-8. 70.7 win percentage. Northland is 9-70-6, a 14 win percentage. So it has not been it's been a pretty tough time if you're a Northland Lumberjacks fan, but they played some of their best hockey of the season last week. They really took Eau Claire to really the very end, especially in last Friday's game. They took the Blue Golds all the way to the wire before they lost in overtime. And then a pretty tough game again on that Saturday. Here comes Stevens Point, an opportunity up front. Here's Poulias. That shot is blocked by the goaltender. This is a young squad also. The line so far, this is a young squad for opening line here tonight, partner. And Alex Proctor in the net again. Proctor just having an amazing season, potentially a WIAC all-conference, and there's going to be an icing called here on Stevens Point. But Proctor playing just an outstanding season here, partner, and just so much upside to this young freshman out of Texas. But what have you seen from this guy this season that has made you really just think, man, this is the future of Pointers? This is the future of Pointers hockey.
I think it's, as we have a penalty already,
I thought for sure that was icing, but no, you're right, penalty. But go ahead.
I think I just see a lot of upside in him because he's under that guidance of Ryan Wagner, and that first game the second game against St. Norbert, he really showed out for, just being a freshman out of Texas. Texas is not known for their hockey, but he's really shown out why he's, why he's in the position he is right now. He's starting most games between him and Wagner and, Matthias Smith here and there, but he's really shown out why he's the future of Pointers hockey.
And Chris Kerr at the other end is in the net for Northland. Now, it's been a little bit of a rough go at it for wins-wise, but statistically-wise, Kerr is having a great season. And did he score? No, the puck stayed out of the net, and they waved it off. Oh, my goodness, I thought for sure that got behind Kerr, but they're going to say no. And obviously, this is Division III hockey, so they're not going to have a replay. But that was a definite, a good chance for Stevens Point to score here. Quentin Hill with it, or Noah Falls rather, has it. Now they lose it, and no call on Stevens Point. As now there will be interference against the Pointers, so it's going to be 4-on-4 hockey here for a minute 19 seconds. That's what's on the power play. Evan Ikalos for the Lumberjacks in the net, in the penalty box, the 5'11" sophomore out of Burlington, Ontario. And for Stevens Point, going into the net, it's going to be Nicholas Omatario. Face-off coming here. Wilson Northey going to take on Brock Weimer. And Weimer wins it. And here's the Lumberjacks on the attack. Nice block there by Jake Tice. And the Lumberjacks on the attack. But yeah, looking again statistically at this year, we'll start off here for Northland. As Stevens Point's going to come here on a push. Northey's just going to dump it in the zone, and now they're going to get things going here. But Northland projected to finish last in the WIAC. As of right now, that is how things have played out here. As Tice has it, now but to Northey, a pass in the slot, and that gets interrupted. And hitting the deck was Brett Hummerstone, and now the Lumberjacks trying to get it. They can't. Ewing and Hummerstone with it. Now here comes Hummerstone over to Northey. Northey going to slow it down. He'll take a shot, and that one hits off the stick of Kerr. But yeah, looking at this, projected to finish last in the WIAC, that's where they're sitting at right now. And they've had 11 straight losing seasons. That's even before joining the WIAC. As Proctor was going to fake covering up. Now he does have it, loses it, and it's behind the net, picked up by the Lumberjacks. But kind of sloppy play there by Alex Proctor. Now up top, here's Stells with it. He takes a shot, and he hits his own teammate. That was way wide, and Stevens Point's going to dump it out of the zone. Back to center ice here, the Lumberjacks resetting. But, have not had more than 9 conference wins over their past 11 seasons. Despite their best record as of late was their 2018-19. The last time they had a good record, they were 12-13-2, so they were only a game under 500, but still have not had a winning record in 11 seasons. And it has been a tough go at it in the WIAC, especially over the past couple seasons. They've just every season they've joined the WIAC, they've either finished last or second to last. It's just been a really rough go about it for the Lumberjacks. But like we said, they've played their best hockey as of late, their past 2 games. And they legitimately had a chance. There was a few plays that maybe they have go their way in overtime against Eau Claire. They could have had a victory. And so far, through the first 4 minutes, they're playing Stevens Point pretty well. As now the Lumberjacks have the puck and are on the push. A quick shot, and I think that hit the leg of Nick Gonrowski, and it did as the puck fluttered around. Ewing and Gonrowski fighting for it in the corner. Now it opens up to the top. Here's a quick shot, and that hits Noah Falls. And now is a bank pass alongside the boards as Sean Bunting has it. Now it finds its way to Taylor. Taylor dumps it in the zone. Behind the net. Taylor gets it again at the top. He does a bank pass alongside the boards. The puck kind of got open there for a second, Brody, but nothing doing. Taylor now with it. Lumberjacks trying to set the offense up here, trying to strike first here. Northland has not won here in KB Willett Arena in these past 10 matchups that they've played. Looking to try to do something that only one other team has done here. Hamlin with the victory in KB Willett Arena. Everybody else has either lost or tied in this arena. So Lumberjacks are trying to do something that not a lot of teams have done.
And part of it is just the success that the Pointers really just have here over the years. The home fan base is cheering them on every night, and you get enough people to come into the games and cheer them on.
15:20 to go here in this first period. Kind of a slow start for both sides. Penalties for both sides, and both penalty kills done what they've needed to do. Stevens Point now with it and trying to get it out of the zone. Lumberjacks fighting for it in the corner. Now they steal it as Hummerstone hits the deck, and now he gets back to his feet. Good play there by Brett Hummerstone to kind of save that. Now a sloppy pass is almost turned over, and it is turned over as it goes to center ice. Who's got it? No, it goes out of play.
Just kind of sloppy already with 14:53 left in the first period, but it's, you know, like we were saying before, the Northland, I mean, 1-19-1 this season. It's hard to be a Northland fan. I mean,
and you want to support your team their one win this year actually is their only win in WIAC play, play, and it's against River Falls, a 4-2 victory. And the more you look at it, the more impressive that is, considering that we were talking about it, especially during the broadcast that Stevens Point had when they took on River Falls, that's a lot better team than that their record shows. And that's a pretty solid win if you're Northland. And you know,
that is true.
Here comes Stevens Point. Jake Tice with it. Now he'll wrap around the net, puts on the brakes, but a nice defensive play there by the Lumberjackets. And here they come on the push. Josh King with it. He'll quickly go up the ice, and Sam Ide in the area. Now Mick Hennigan has it for point as they're going to try to get it out of the zone. Bank pass up to Tice is intercepted by Taylor, and now he'll keep it in center ice as Hennigan has it, and he'll get it over to Nordy. 1-on-5, he's got nothing, and he'll just lay off here. Goes to Hummerstone, he can't control it, now it goes to the stick of Brenton. On the push here, and quickly just snapping one off. That was number 15, Luke Hartig. Behind the net here, trying to wrap around, now get it up top. Exits the zone, and Petrie's just gonna shoot it, and a nice glove save by Proctor. Snagged that one out of the air.
And just looked like a first baseman, will toss right at him.
Fighting for it alongside the boards. It looks like maybe we heard a stick break. Yes, and there is a broken stick as Brenton lost his stick alongside. I thought for sure, I mean, well, that was right in front of us, so you might have been able to hear that. But Stevens Point now has had the advantage for a moment as that puck squirted free. And now there's just loose lumber here on the ice as now the Lumberjacks clear the zone.
Yellow Jackets are next week.
Yeah, Yellow Jackets are next. I don't want to think too far ahead. I mean, you can't blame me. I got Superior and all kinds of other teams on my mind.
Speaking of Superior, they are playing Stout tonight.
Oh boy, here's a chance at a breakaway. Nice defensive close there by Harrison Stewart, though.
If the Pointers want any shot to winning the WIAC this week, we got to have Superior lose a Stout tonight, and hopefully Eau Claire loses to River Falls at least once this weekend, at least once.
The key for Stevens Point is the easiest scenario for this whole thing is you win out. If you win 4 games the rest of the season, you have 25 right now. If you can get the 12 points, you're going to win. You only need to get to 35 to win the WIAC because Superior can only get to 34 maximum points and Eau Claire can only get to 33. So if you're Stevens Point, obviously you want to win out the rest of the season, but also you can afford to have maybe an overtime appearance. You don't have to win every single game in regulation, but if you're Coach Krieger and Point, you're just going to want to win. You're just going to want to win every single game in regulation.
Exactly.
Chiarino now behind the net. Bank pass over to Brady Smith. Omataria with it, just wrists one about 2 feet too high, and now they get it back to him. Line change, looks substitution coming as there's another broken stick here as Andrew Polias now has it. Tries to pass that gets intercepted and poked out of the zone by Hondold, excuse me. Styles now with it as he will get it back up to Hondold, and they can't find it. It was Omatario. Now it goes to Smith, and Smith loses control of it, and here come the Lumberjacks. They just, both sides here, Brody, just cannot get a good handle on this puck.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the puck tonight. Just nobody can get a good stick on it, and a couple guys falling over tonight. Humberstone's been down on the boards a few times.
Proctor and Kerr, to their credit, have been playing well enough here tonight. Here's Tice on it. Northey with a shot. Nice pad save there by the goaltender, Kerr. Puck stuck in the corner here as Humberstone is fighting for it alongside Brown. Puck squirts free as Harrison Stewart is going to get to it. Nice hustle there by Harrison, and he'll poke it up to Humberstone. Taylor fighting for it in the corner with Humberstone, and now comes free and goes to the stick of David Hill. Now Stevens Point has to get back onside, and they do. Offsides. Wow, that was really close to being onside. I don't know about that. That looked onsides to me, but I mean, we had a pretty good look at it. But 10:44 to go here in this first period. 0-0 is the score. Pointers and Lumberjacks tied. Like you said, 2 wins this weekend in regulation get you 6 points and potentially a chance at a WIAC regular season championship. But it's, you know, they're not thinking about too far ahead right now.
You got to take one game at a time.
Isaac Moberg racing up the ice here for Stevens Point. Moberg guarded beautifully there by Craycroft. And now Hardig has it for the Lumberjacks as they're going to try to clear the zone, and they do. It goes back out to center ice. Ide now has it with Hennigan. Hennigan going to bank pass it over to Cody Moline, who's going to have to lose it. Actually, didn't try to lose it, but he doesn't loses it. Now Ewing has it. Nice interception there by Hennigan as he goes up the boards. Taylor over to Varga with it now. It's poked away there by Ide. And like I said, just there's been turnovers by both sides as Sean Bunting collides there in the corner with Brock Weimer. But this has been a really sloppy first period, and it almost has the feel of, you know, in an NBA kind of first quarter, how both teams are kind of feeling each other out and just feeling how they're playing the game. This just is just eerily similar to just both sides are just kind of feeling each other out right now, and they're just trying to get a idea for how both sides are playing.
Yeah, definitely, without question. And part of it too is getting out on the ice. It may be a little different after warm-ups. You know,
I think you know,
trying to find.
And what's crazy is how fast this period has gone by. I think we've had only 1 or 2 stoppages of play in this entire first period. Everything else has just been go, go, go.
Yeah, we're almost at 9 minutes.
Almost at 9 minutes, and yeah, like you said, this game started only 12 minutes ago. So, you know, account for that time here, but this could be, if this pace keeps up, Brody, we may be done by 8 o'clock.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, beautiful puck movement there by Bunting, but he lost it. Good defense by Taylor, and nice bat down there by Gonrowski, and now Fader has it. Bank pass here to Bunting. Here's a chance for Sean Bunting as he tried to wrap it up front, and a shot, and nothing doing. Ooh, there was an opportunity there for Stevens Point, but nothing doing. Here comes a shot up front. Oh, that one goes wide for Harrison Stewart. This is just 2 wide open guys up top. Northland just didn't cover them. Dawson Chiarino now has it for Stevens Point. Nice move there by Dawson. He gets it over to Fletcher Anderson. Calling for it was Polias. Now Anderson has it for the Pointers. Here's a quick wrister, nothing doing. And quickly going behind the net is Hummerstone. Here's a shot up front and another shot, but too many bodies in the way for both sides, and that wasn't a clean shot. Here's Anderson with a chance. Nice blocker save there, and a score! I think it got through, and yes, they do. They count it, and that is a score for Stevens Point. What a play. You know, at first, Brody, I thought maybe Kerr had that block, but no, it squirts free, and Stevens Point scores.
Yeah, good goal by Fletcher Anderson to start the Pointers out here with little over 8 minutes left in the first period. Good start by the Pointers.
Good start. 1-0 Stevens Point with 8:04 to go. So it took a bit, and there's your kind of your first stoppage in play, as now the horn is going to sound again, as that was an accident. But good start for Coach Krieger. Is about close to the halfway point in the period. Stevens Point gets on the board first. We'll have to hear what the official call is on who that is. I think it was Fletcher Anderson. They're going to give it to him as Jake Tice now has it, and that's going to be offsides on Stevens Point. But a quick start for the Pointers to get on the board here. Looks like you may have an update here for other scores around the WIAC here, Brody.
River Falls up 1-0 against Eau Claire. So good start for River Falls with 13:42 left in the first period. Still 0-0 for Superior and Stout with 11 minutes left in the first period. So already looking in favor of the Pointers.
And you look at River Falls again, and they're 1-9 in WIAC play, but that is just a really talented and young team that they could still do some damage here. And I can tell you one right now, folks, just listening, if you're listening to this on 90 FM or watching it, that is not a team that Stevens Point is going to want to see at any point in the WIAC conference tournament, whether that's if they get the 1 seed and they get a bye. That is going to be a team that, if they can string things together, they're going to be in the perfect position to just completely ruin a team season. Like if Stevens Point loses the WIAC conference tournament, again, that's their year. They're done. They can't go to the NCAA tournament. But that they're going to be a hard out, that's for sure. And they're a really, really strong team, and they gave the Pointers everything they could handle.
Exactly. And when I was here watching that game a couple weeks ago, they looked tougher than I thought they would. I'm like, wow, this team actually might have a chance to beat Point. And, Point kind of went up ahead and kind of ran away with it. But still, it's a team that you can't,
Can't underestimate.
Yeah, exactly.
And that puck goes to the stick of Ewing, and Ewing looks like maybe he lost it for a second, but he now gets control of it. Oh, nice defense there by the Pointers as they get it, and no interference there. I thought they'd have a chance as Northy kind of had to hop up and over a guy, but nothing doing. David Hill with it, now gets it, tries to get it to Northy. Nobody can get the puck out, and now it finally gets free and gets over to the stick of Ewing. He's just going to dump it into the zone, got nothing doing, and now they're going to make a line change. Everybody is going to come on the ice here. Comes Wilson Northy, good closeout defensively there by the Lumberjacks at number 49, Kenny Stiles. Brenton now with it, fighting with Gonrowski with the puck. Ormatario now has it behind the net. But this is a theme that for Stevens Point they've had it kind of all season. They either, and especially here in KB Road Arena, the home ice or home court advantage, if you will, is definitely significant here.
Oh, definitely.
And you can tell whenever they score first, there's just kind of a hum about it. And Moline now has it for Stevens Point, but every time they kind of score first, they always have that swagger to them. But they have been known to go up by 2 goals at one point and then let a team claw back into it. And that's if you're something you want to get ready for what the postseason is going to be like. Not only if you should you be lucky enough, fortunate enough to make it to the NCAA tournament, but Wyatt conference-wise, you're going to be put in some kind of awkward situations, and you don't want to see in a situation where you think it'd be easy when you're up by a couple of goals to see opponents' teams just kind of claw right back into it.
Exactly. You have that advantage when all the fans are in here cheering on for you, but also, if you do make the NCAA tournament, the teams aren't like the WIAC. You don't have those 2 bottom teams and a few decent teams. They're going to be a lot tougher than you think.
Right. There's going to be like Adrian kind of schools. There's going to be like St. Norbert, those kind of quality of schools. There's a chance up front. Is trying to do a wraparound was Fader, and a bank pass behind the net. It will find its way to Falls. And Noah's going to get plastered alongside the boards, and Stevens Point will have it. Here's Ide with it. Ide now, somebody's without a glove there. They'll get it right back up front. Here's Moline with it. It's actually Cody without a glove. There's a pass in the slot. Ooh, that was a beautiful look there by the captain, Fader, and hitting the deck there. I think that was number 12, Holland. And the puck's going to squirt free. We're under 5 here in this opening period. 1-0 Stevens Point on top of Northland. But the Lumberjacks are kind of hanging in there tough so far. And if they can go into first intermission just down 1, I think that'd be kind of a moral victory for Northland.
Oh, definitely, without question.
Oh, a chance at a breakaway there, but nothing doing. It looked like, actually, I think Anderson has a pretty reasonable gripe there because it looked like it hit him. And if it was in that case, then I don't know if it would stop if Chiarino gets the glove here. But yeah, interesting sequence there as there's going to be a face-off at center ice here. But yeah, the perception of this Stevens Point team at this time of year, usually every year, is they're just a juggernaut in the postseason. And I feel like there's no different meaning. I mean, that's no different this year. They started off 2-1-3 on the year, and have since then 11-4. And that's kind of the team we expected to see this year. And I think early in the season, with a couple of those ties, there were definitely opportunities for those to be wins and not ties. But regardless, they're 13-5-3 right now. And if you win 4 games, that gives you for the rest of the season. That means you got to beat Northland and you got to beat Superior. You get yourself to 17 regular season wins, and ultimately you have to win 3 more games in the conference tournament should you get that first round bye. But 20 wins, a WIAC regular season, and a postseason win. All of this in theory, that should guarantee you a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, I would think so. You win your conference tournament, and a conference like the WIAC is as tough as it is. I would think you would make it, but it's not going to be an easy road. You just got to win the rest of your games, but also take one game at a time to make sure you get that set up for your hopefully tournament bid.
And it is also how you finish your season, too. There's going to be, here's a chance up front, and oh, that one just goes wide for Brody Smith. But I draw the similarity to the NCAA tournament in men's college basketball. It's how you finish your regular season. Do you finish it on kind of a skid going into it, or do you finish it strong? And if you're in the case of Stevens Point, obviously if you win out, that's a pretty strong finish if you ask me. But yeah, looking at this, you're in the top 10 here, and you assume if you finish 4, meaning you have to win 7 straight games here. But if you win 7 games and you get to that 20-win record, and you're in the, I'd say you're pretty comfortably in should you win the regular season and postseason in the WIAC here.
Oh, definitely.
As Hummerstone has it, he pokes it back, and Karkoff will go across the center line here as the Stevens Point line here, and here comes Northland. There's a lazy shot and easily saved by Proctor, and Stevens Point clears it. Taylor just going to quickly spin and dump it back in, and now Stevens Point going to quickly get it up the ice to Wilson Northey. Northey's just going to dump it as that hits an official right in the leg there. That one.
Way to take it.
Probably didn't feel good, but you got to take it. As that just skips and does not hit the roof here in KB Willett. Puck does squirt free, and now it finds the stick. Ooh, that was unfortunate for Stevens Point as Moberg and Moline kind of collided, because there was a chance if one of those grabs it cleanly that there is a breakaway there, but nothing doing. Now Northland trying to tie this one up here in the later stages of this first period. 2:30 to go here. Taylor now has it up top. There's another quick shot. That one just flutters behind the net and dies. As now Sam Ide has it. He'll get it up to Quentin Hill. Stevens Point quickly off the center line. Here comes Moberg. Leads it off here to Moline. Moline just misses it. Oh, my goodness. I think he was looking a little too far ahead on that one, partner.
Kind of definitely was.
The instance of, when you're playing football and you catch the ball and you're thinking, well, this is a touchdown, and you're looking too far ahead, and all of a sudden you drop it. But that was a legitimate chance there to go up 2-0 for Stevens Point. They just couldn't finish it out there, but nonetheless, 2 minutes and 5 seconds here left in the first period. Pointers up 1-0. And so far, so good. If you're Coach Krieger, obviously you wish you could be up more, but this is a team in Northland that has been playing a lot better as of late. So getting a 1-0 lead here in the first period is a good start for a team, and you still got 2 minutes here to go.
Exactly, and plus with the Pointers, they seem to do a lot better in the later stages of the game.
There's a chance up front here for the Pointers, as that is just gobbled up by Kerr. Bunting was in a good spot there, but it looks like Fader just got forced to the side there, so it wasn't a clean pass, and just no chance of a shot on goal. But good offensive sets here in the first period for sure. If you're Stevens Point and Northland, to their credit too, they've had some good offensive threats, just not nearly as much as Stevens Point. Now Fader with it behind the net. Back up top to Brady Smith. Now a quick shot as that one goes wide. Now to Brady Smith, the spin move, he hits the deck. There's a quick shot. Oh, looking for a rebound there was Falls. Puck stays in the zone. Gonarowski flips it back in. Fader has it. He gets it up top to Brady Smith. Now over to Noah Falls. He's thinking about it. Now gets it down low. Nice spin move there by Fader. As the puck squirts in front of the net, there is a chance, but nothing doing. And the players' sticks are caught up with one another. Here's a chance for Stevens Point if they get it on the push. Oh, a bad pass there by Bunting, as he maybe could have taken that all the way. But nonetheless, it's a turnover. Pointers still have it in offensive zone here. 1 minute to go. 1-0 is the score. Stevens Point looking to try to finish this first period off in style. Lamberty dumps it out, and the Lumberjacks get it in the zone. Offsides is going to be on Northland. 44.7 seconds here, but Stevens Point playing good here in this first period. There's definitely some more you could do. They had the early opportunity in the power play, nothing doing. They weren't disciplined themselves. They put one in the box as well, but pretty good start overall for Coach Krieger and company.
Yeah, definitely you want more goals on a couple of the shots that they've taken, but, a couple passes that you could have had and maybe a few more goals, but
icing is going to be called, and yes, it is. I thought maybe for a second.
you never know when they're going to call it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It's a matter of how they feel almost, but definitely with these two teams, they've been looking pretty solid tonight. Obviously, Northland, could have had maybe a few more goals, but that's just, Pointer's defense playing real well.
This is a team that defensively, I don't feel like it gets enough credit for how good they are, especially in the penalty kill. Their penalty kill is just absolutely just daunting as the puck now exits the zone as Fletcher Anderson has to backpedal, and now it goes back in. Here comes Andrew Polias, passes the slot to Hummerstone, nothing doing. Now here come the Lumberjacks. Hardig loses it, and I think Proctor is not going to just cover this one up. He kind of wise there with 11 seconds left, just kind of let this clock bleed out and go into first intermission here. Now Stevens Point, Fletcher Anderson's got 3 seconds. Looks like he's just going to load up and take a shot, and that one gets stopped there. And that's how this first period is going to end. Stevens Point able to nab a goal at the 8-minute and 4-second mark here in the first period. And they go into the intermission with the lead. Brody, any thoughts here in this one of stuff you've seen so far by the Pointers?
Not always pretty, but, they've been getting really good offensive sets here, and just, they're really shooting on goal tonight, so it's already a pretty solid start, but you could expect a few more goals out of them.
And like you said, this is a team that definitely makes some adjustments here. I was looking for the word. Makes adjustments in between periods, and look to see Stevens Point do that, but so far so good here for KB Willett Arena. Well, that's going to do it here for this opening period. We're going to send it back to the station right here on 90 FM for some music, and we'll be back in just about 15 minutes. So don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you right back here in about 15 minutes.
The more you spend, the more you save.
And a welcome back here to KB Willett Arena. You are listening to Pointers Hockey right here on WWSP Stevens Point 90 FM. And also, we're live streaming right here on SPTV as well. Maddy Larson doing the camera work for you here tonight. Will Haroldson and Brody Kupsky on the call. Brody, one period in, a little shaky at moments, but Stevens Point with a 1-0 lead. What have you seen so far through this one?
So far, just looking at some stats here that we got, only 9 shots on goal by the Pointers, but you know, part of that is just a few missed passes here and there that could have led to more shots. Only 4 shots on goal from the Lumberjacks of Northland College. You know, not pretty, but both sides have penalties, 2 minutes each. Pointers have 1 more face-offs, and really that's all I gotta say besides score updates. Superior up 1-0 against Stout at the end of the first period, and still 1-0 over for River Falls against Eau Claire.
I mean, that was a very fast-paced opening period there. Almost too quick. Almost too quick, yeah. Very quick. That quick wrist shot easily blocked there by Proctor, and now Stevens Point is going to, they are skating towards their student section, so the goaltender Kerr as the puck goes off of the skate of a referee, and here comes Hennigan quickly on the push. Andrew Polias across, back to Hennigan in the slot, and that one goes wide. But again, that is dangerous territory, especially for Kerr and other goaltenders who have come in here to KB Willett Arena to face the Pointers. Anytime you're in front of the student section, you are going to get heckled. It doesn't matter whether you're losing or you're winning, you're going to get heckled.
I mean, you're not just facing the Pointers hockey team, you're also facing the student section, which is pretty much just as strong as the hockey team is at KB Willett Arena.
That pass will be intercepted, and unfortunately, as it skips off of the stick of David Hill, and Wilson Northey was offside, so it didn't help with that, but there was a chance at potentially a breakaway there. Is quickly dumping into the zone here. Kerr will come out of the net to play it, and he'll just send it over to Stiles. Puck still in the offensive zone, now squirts to center ice here in a 2-on-1 opportunity here. Brown couldn't get it cleanly, and that's going to go out of play. There was a chance there for Northland, actually, but Brown couldn't get the puck on his stick right. Instead,
yeah, they had a 2-on-1.
Yeah, it goes out of play here, and the Pointers and Lumberjacks will reset here. 1-0 is the score. Stevens Point on top of Northland, 18:39 to go here in the second period. Stevens Point, a chance to move to 28 points and 14 wins on the year. For Northland, they're trying to get to the all-elusive second win and second WIAC win here. They got a lot of work to do, as they're just going to just send it and get called for icing. But if you're Northland, and we talked about this a little during the break, they've got to be pretty happy with how they played. Obviously, they wish they could have held Pointers to no goals, but still,
only 1 goal is
only 1 goal.
Surprising.
They played pretty good defense and decent offense. They just need to execute in certain things, and this is by no means out of stretch here for Northland.
Oh no, it can be a close game just like that, but you know, obviously you want in favor of the Pointers here to hopefully get free tacos tonight.
5 goals equals tacos. Oh my goodness, a collision alongside the boards there as Fader took out a player didn't grab the number there, as that pass is good interception there by Bunting. And, you know, both sides have really turned the puck over here tonight, as Fader's going to pass it to Falls out front, but nice stop there by Kerr. But both sides have really turned the puck over a lot. And we look at the board, and it says only 4 shots compared to Stevens Point's 9 on goal. It feels like there's a lot more. Here's a chance for Northland up front. Oh, a backdoor was wide open as Proctor was beat, but Northland couldn't convert, and here comes Fader the other way. And he loses control of it, and Stevens Point's going to have to reset. Sam Ide was wide open, but good play there to just dump it out of the zone was Max Collette for Northland. Chiarino now dumps it off to Hennigan. Hennigan gets it to Ide. 17 minutes here. Oh, nice move there by Sam Ide as Brenton went right off his feet. Here's a chance up front. Ide a shot and a save there by Kerr. Man, I thought for a second that went in the back of the net. But no, nothing doing.
Just got enough of it, I guess.
16:59 to go here in this second period. Stevens Point again on top of Northland 1-0. But again, Northland is playing, they're kind of playing with, not necessarily playing with house money, but they got nothing to lose at this point.
Exactly. We were talking about that during the break. It's like they got nothing to play for. Why not? Why not go all out and try to beat the Pointers and
in essence ruin their season? Now they could theoretically, with a loss, still win the WIAC and win the WIAC tournament. But you have to think ranking-wise, a loss to Northland would crush your hopes at an NCAA tournament bid, as that is going to go just out of nowhere, as the second icing is going to be called in the last minute and a half. But you would have to, and it's like we said, it's not a be-all, end-all game. If you're Stevens Point, a loss right now, especially on your home ice, to a team that everybody in this building thinks you're going to beat, would really be tough to take.
It would just kill your confidence going into they play tomorrow too, so you're going into tomorrow with potentially obviously not a loss yet.
Smith with a shot, and that goes wide here. But yeah, like you said, Northland is hanging in tight here, and they're coming off their best couple games of this season. Obviously they had the win against River Falls, a nice hit there alongside the boards as Jake Tice is laid out. There was a shot up front, but a nice stop there. Brady Smith gets it, and that was just a quick wrister there by Ewing. Nothing was doing here. Brady Smith now has it. Bank pass up to David Hill. Hill now gets it, and an outlet pass goes out to the center ice, and that's just quickly whipped back in. Offsides was going to be on Northland. Now Stevens Point has it once again. Smith going to dump it heads up, kind of a Hail Mary pass up to David Hill. And a nice collision alongside the boards here. Stevens Point has it, and hands in the air. What's the call here? I think
possibly a penalty.
I think there's a penalty coming up here on,
I want to say Stevens Point.
Yeah, indication would say that that's on Stevens Point. Looks like it is. It is. Quentin Hill going to go into the box here for Stevens Point. So Northland with a chance here to knot this one up here if they can convert on the power play. But it's easier said than done on the season. Stevens Point has only given up 4 goals in the power play. Their penalty kill has been as good as it gets. But let's see if Northland can tie this one up. They've been playing really well here. But this is kind of a big moment here for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, without question. And before, in the first period, both teams had a power play, and Pointers only could get 1 shot on goal for that. And I believe the Lumberjacks got 2 shots on goal during the power play. But Pointers power play,
that was half of their shots on goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Through the first period. Obviously, there's been a little bit more here since the beginning of the
second period,
the game in general. The beginning of the second period. But no, you're right. This has been a really hotly contested game, and Northland's hanging in there tough, but Stevens Point has a chance here, down a man as they're quickly sending it into the zone here, but they're still playing aggressive. Oh, is hitting the deck there was a member of the Lumberjacks. There's a quick shot up front. Oh my goodness, an opportunity there for a down man goal here.
A short-handed goal.
Yeah, short-handed here, but now the Lumberjacks have it back again, and here they come on the attack. Nice block there by Fader. Minute and 5 left on the power play. 1-0 Stevens Point on top of Northland, but a chance here for the Lumberjacks to try to tie this one up as Fader hits the deck, and a delayed penalty going to come here against the Lumberjacks. Interference is going to be the call, so it's going to be 4-on-4 hockey here for 50 seconds, and then the Pointers will have the power play for 1 minute and 10. So sloppy play here over the last 2 minutes here, Brody, but Stevens Point with a chance. They don't get the power play right now, but a chance to strike here is technically it's even strength here with it being 4-on-4, but nonetheless,
still a better chance to score.
Still a better chance here. Lumberjacks win the face-off, and now they have it Hardig
You're now playing 4-on-4 hockey.
clipping, I think they're going to say, is the penalty on the Lumberjacks. Gonrowski has it, and now he tries to get it out of the zone, and it squirts free to the stick. Man, I'm surprised Northie didn't attack that, because if he did, there could have been a chance of a 2-on-1 breakaway for Stevens Point. Now Ide will go behind the net, and the Pointers will have it. 22 seconds left with 4-on-4 hockey, and then it'll be a minute and 10 of the Pointers power play here. I think, you know, if you're Stevens Point, they're trying to get the puck here in the offensive zone and set up the offense to save yourself some time with the power play. As now there's only 7 seconds left, so quick. Ooh, man, that was dangerous there. As Proctor did not play that one very well, but the Stevens Point now on the power play. They'll have it for about a minute left here as Hennigan has it for Stevens Point. Hennigan will hand it off to Sciarrino, who loses it. Now the Pointers have it once again. Offense going to get set up here as Andrew Polias banks it off the boards here to Mick Hennigan. Mick with it, now get it over to Andrew Polias, to Fletcher Anderson, excuse me. Anderson with the first goal and only goal here of the night. Here's a fake shot now, a chance. Here's Polias now with it. Wrister, that one goes wide behind the net. Sciarrino now gets the rebound here for Stevens Point. Now they'll reset. 30 seconds left here on the power play. A pass to the slot here. The puck bounces up in the air, and a takedown there in the corner. And just fighting for the puck alongside the boards of Stevens Point and Northland, but it squirts free to Fletcher Anderson. Anderson going to get it over to Hennigan. One-time shot and a beautiful save there by Kerr. That was a missile by Hennigan. Not much you can say other than great save.
Yeah,
there.
that's a tough save to make.
Stevens Point, we talked offensively, this is an area where they have gotten better lately, but they have struggled in the power play this year. And it's kind of been a theme for the past 2 years. They have not been outstanding in the power play. Now, yes, it is scoring in hockey at any point is difficult.
It's tough.
10 seconds left here in the Pointers power play. Proctor comes out of the net to play it. So Stevens Point's going to have kind of one last push here to try to get something going here. Dawson Sciarrino now has the puck for the Pointers as they're going to go quickly up the ice. Here's a shot, and that one goes up and out of play.
Yeah, well, Northland successfully kills the power play for the Pointers, which, you know, good on them. It's especially in this game, you know, Northland, you know, trying to just find a win, hopefully, and they're doing really well tonight.
They're playing
despite their record.
They're playing great. 1-19-1 if you're just tuning in, and 1-10-0 is their record in the WIAC. But this is a team, like we've said it many times, and we don't want to sound like a broken record, but they are playing their best hockey since those past 2 games against Eau Claire. And a game on a Friday night against Eau Claire is that puck kind of squirted right dangerously in front of Kerr. But a game that they could have easily won. And a sloppy pass by Stevens Point and Cody Moline. And not on the same page there was Moline and Omatario. And Stevens Point can't get it. Now a shot up front. Oh, beautiful stop there by Quentin Hill as he lays out his body for the stop. Ewing trying to fight with Smith, and now the Pointers have it on the push. A chance for a man advantage here if they go quickly, but nice defensive recovery. Pass up front, and nothing doing. Here comes the Lumberjacks now as they gain control of the puck. Hill now is just going to quickly dump it into the zone as Kerr comes out of the net to play it. Now he's trapped behind his own net, and he had to quickly pass it. And dumping it back here, and Harrison Stewart has it for the Pointers. But sloppy passing here, but yeah, you really got to like the way that Northland is played as icing is called on Stevens Point. But they're in it. There's 11:21 to go here in this second period. They're only down by 1, and if you're Northland, obviously you want to try to tie this one up here.
No question, you definitely want to tie it up here, especially against a team like Points.
Right, and obviously, and the point I was continuing on here is, like I said, you obviously, best case scenario, you tie. I mean, best case scenario is you put up 100 scores in this period and it's not even up. But nonetheless, realistic and best scenario, a good scenario, I should say, is that was another dangerous chance there up front for Northland. But another good scenario for the Lumberjacks is it's going to be a penalty on Stevens Point. I think they're going to get him for interference. But if Northland can somehow tie this one up or only be down by 1 here going into the third period, they got to like where they're at.
Yeah, exactly, without question. I mean, now you're on the power play, and, you know, you have a pretty good shot against this Pointers team, which, you know, hasn't been looking fantastic tonight. Miss passes here and there and just shots that just aren't falling in. But, you know, for a team like Northland to keep up with Stevens Point, you know, this is huge for them.
Yeah, and whole conversations being had here with the referees here and the lines judge. I wonder, we didn't get a good look at that. There was a big collision for sure, but I wouldn't think this would be a 4-minute minor. The conversation's being had.
Looks like they're giving 5 to Humberstone here.
Yeah, looks like they are going to give 5 to Humberstone. So this is a big opportunity here for the Lumberjacks here.
It pretty much takes up half the period now.
Yeah, and as long as and especially with it being a 5-minute, Northland could score and still have the power play here. So Stevens Point now faced with a tough situation. They're really their first tough situation here of the night. Northland looking to try to tie this one up. There's a quick shot there. And checking from behind is the 5-minute major, I think is what they said. And they could have had another one right there as Hennigan took down the player. Quickly up the ice here. Here's a chance for Brown, but good defense there by Ide, closing that threat out. Stiles now with it up top for the Lumberjacks. Now back to Stiles. Here's a quick shot and a nice block there in the lane as Stevens Point makes that shot go wide. Brown fighting for it. Hill trying to get it free, and now he'll just dump it out of his zone. So good defense by Stevens Point overall, but if you're Northland, this is another just really good opportunity to tie this one up, and theoretically, could you score, I mean, take the lead. And you got 4 minutes left here on the power play, and we were talking about it closer to the end of the first period, that Stevens Point is always a team to make adjustments coming in to periods, as that's a nice save there by Proctor. 3:50 to go here on the power play, but this is a team that always makes adjustments coming into the second period, but they really haven't to this point. And maybe that's to the credit of Northland that they're just playing that well in this game.
Yeah, exactly, without question. And you know, you want to try and make adjustments against this team, but you know, just nothing's really going right with passes for the Pointers. Really, both sides, they just can't get passes down to, you know, be able to set up scores.
I think discipline is going to be a word that Coach Krieger is going to have here in the second intermission, because, and this is a case of you were looking to, potentially you're looking too far ahead, because this is a team in Stevens Point, you're the 10th ranked team in the country, and you've got a lot to be playing for. A chance at an NCAA tournament bid potentially. Now there's a bunch of traffic up front. Ewing in a chance up, and that puck just, or the shot just slips wide here. Proctor just trying to gobble it up, and he'll finally cover it up. I thought maybe they could have got goaltender interference there, because there was a Lumberjack kind of all over Proctor.
Yeah.
But in the case of Point, you're the number 10 team in the country, and you've got an NCAA tournament bid potentially to play for here. This could be a case of just looking ahead to next weekend's matchup against Superior, but also to credit just Northland, they're playing just tremendous right now.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously you don't want to look ahead to the matchup, because you still got one more game tomorrow, and you got to try to win all games, but you can't overlook opponents. It just kills your momentum, and I mean, ultimately it could lead to a losing situation.
Brenton now up top. Here's a quick shot. Oh, that one goes wide. There was a chance there, just wide. Poke free and sending it out of the zone, and Northland's going to have to reset. Stiles now has it. Now a bank pass up the ice, and here comes the Lumberjacks. Hardig squirting free. Now gets checked by Smith. Fighting for it alongside the Bullets. Here's another chance up front. Nice save there by Proctor. That shot goes wide. Couple opportunities here for the Lumberjacks, but Stevens Point has done their job so far in the penalty kill. They've got 2 minutes and 15 seconds more of this before they can get away. Again, you are listening here as that puck was kind of coming right at me. Not really. It was about 10 feet lower than what it looks like. But you're listening again here to Pointers Hockey on WWSP, Stevens Point 90 FM. And you're watching live stream brought to you by SPTV. And again, credit Maddy Larson doing the great camera work here for us up here at the booth. Our job is easy here.
We just sit here and talk
about what we see. And also credit Paige back in the studio at 90, taking care of us, making sure this broadcast is going smoothly. And so far, so good, guys. So far, so good. Here's another shot and a chance. Oh, a blocker save there as the puck squirts free again. And where is it as Proctor, oh, he is grimacing.
Ooh,
that is not a good sight to see.
Yeah, definitely for a young guy like him, you definitely don't want him out.
And the refs are signaling for the athletic training staff to come over as Harrison Stewart will escort them over. But man, that looks like Alex Proctor is in a lot of pain. And obviously you don't want to speculate, but if Proctor is hurt to the point where he has to come out of a game, that is a big loss for Stevens Point, as he's kind of holding on to his knee a little bit. But he's been playing so well up to this point. That would be such a big loss if you're Stevens Point.
Definitely, without question. And granted, credit to Stevens Point for having, backup goalies just to be able. They have enough goalies to, satisfy going down a goalie. But for a guy like Proctor, he's been having a fantastic season as a freshman, and
Ryan
hate to lose him.
Ryan Wagner on the ice warming up for Stevens Point in case he is thrusted into that spot. But you don't want to think, obviously we hope that Proctor is going to be okay. But the way things are going here is it certainly looks like he's going to be escorted to the locker room, as he is really not able to put a lot of weight on his leg. As Alex will head to the locker room. But so this will be Ryan Wagner's game the rest of the way. But if you're Stevens Point, you hope that Proctor is okay, and you hope that he's okay for the long run, because yes, you have three outstanding goals in Matthias Smith, Ryan Wagner, but losing Alex Proctor, a guy who has the most wins and statistically has the most saves on the year for Stevens Point, that would be a massive, massive loss for the Pointers.
Yeah, without question, you hate to lose a guy like that. He's almost a leader on this team just because he's been showing up every single day and just putting his heart, his heart into it and just playing well. For a freshman, really.
Alex
It's
Proctor,
huge.
235 saves with a 91.4 save percentage. He has a 6-2-2 record. That's how big of an impact the freshman has been on this team. But it's Ryan Wagner's time. The all-WIAC goaltender from last season. There's no slouch to this moment, but it's going to be his game the rest of the way.
I figured they'd just put him in senior night because, senior night is tomorrow, so.
Ryan getting a little early action here.
It's just setting him up for tomorrow, really.
Get him. And Ryan has had a nice stretch of games as of late. He played 2 good games against River Falls, the last couple of broadcasts we had here. And he has that experience factor that if you're Stevens Point, you obviously don't want this scenario to happen where you have an injured goaltender. But you also know that you have
those
incredibly experienced guy who has been through these situations before, and you know that you have that in your back pocket.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to have those guys that are able to just come in whenever you have an injury and just be able to clean up the mess and lead your team to victory.
Stevens Point here, a chance for a shorthanded goal here. Wilson Northy's going to snap one off and nothing doing. 20 seconds left on the 5-minute major power play here for the Lumberjacks. Now we approach under 10 seconds. Really the last kind of push here for Northland. Closing it out here. Now in the corner here, Ewing has it. Now fighting for it alongside the boards. And with that, there is the power play, and the penalty kill comes away. Sean Bunting now comes out quickly for Stevens Point as they try to score right off the substitution, but nothing doing. But 5 minutes, 5-minute major penalty, and Stevens Point kills it off. What a play. What play there by Stevens Point, Brody.
It's just a credit to their penalty kill. It's fantastic, and every night, every night they get a penalty, it's just, they're able to kill it off.
Almost 9 times out of 10, they're able to do it. David Hill now here will get it over to his partner, Cody Moline. Jordan Fader, rather. That pass is going to go nowhere. Now, wide open man is Armatario if they can get it to him, but there's congestion over in the corner. Stewart now has it. Nice goalie screen as that shot goes wide. Armatario, and it looks like there's a delayed penalty coming here on Stevens Point, and that's going to go out of play. And what's the call here?
We will now take the scheduled media
timeout here, but there's going to be another penalty, I believe, on Stevens Point.
Looks like bunting.
Again.
I think a high stick, maybe. That looked like the call, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Ryan Wagner is an incredibly experienced goaltender, but coming in and having to just take care of a 5-minute major and now another power play. You're definitely, and if you're Stevens Point, you don't want to keep giving Northland these opportunities, and you can't, it's from a standpoint of thinking of it like this. You can't give a team who's playing some of their best hockey chances like this, because they're going to capitalize on it eventually.
Yeah, they're going to figure out how to beat you, and given these opportunities, they're bound to score. Speaking of scoring, there is no scoring between Superior and Stout with 8:42 left in the second period. Still 1-0 River Falls over Eau Claire, 9:40 left in the second period.
Sean Bunting in for high sticking. Stevens Point's going to have to kill off another penalty. Isaac Moberg going to fight here for the face-off as Sam Ide gets it. Mick Hennigan now has it. And Steve, that was a dangerous play there right in front of Wagner. And now the puck squirts free. Brown has it for the Lumberjacks, and now it finds the way to Cian. Here comes Northland. Now they lose it. Now Varga gives it over to Brown. Ide just going to gun it down to the other end here, and coming out of the net is Kerr to play it. Now, I think another thing that has gone unnoticed a little bit, Kerr, yeah, he let one get by. He's played a tremendous game here for the Lumberjacks.
And he's kind of the leader in that goal. He's the guy with the most saves on the team. I think he's really the only goalie that's been in this season, because I think he's been in most games this season. So, he's kind of that leader down the goal, and he's doing a fantastic job for himself tonight.
And he's got like we said, the one he gave up. Everything else, he's been tremendous. There have been there's some opportunities that Stevens Point could just easily execute. Here's a chance up front, and a nice save there by Wagner. Big play there by Ryan. As it's, we'll try to keep you updated here on the Alex Proctor situation. As obviously we don't know anything. We don't got a guy in the locker rooms to tell you what's going on here, but it was a little bit of a scary scene, that's for sure, seeing him having to be helped off of the ice like that. 55 seconds left on the Northland power play. 4:01 to go here in the second period. Stevens Point on top 1-0, but Northland is threatening here. Ewing has it, now fighting for it in the corner. Northey, it gets it up to Stiles. Back, and a quick shot, and that one goes wide. And player without a nameplate on the back, Brock Weimer. Now Stiles with it, gets it over to his partner in Collette. Here comes the Lumberjacks, and Ewing slows this one down, having the offense set up here. 20 seconds left here on the power play for the Lumberjacks. Trying to tie this one up. Here's a shot. Nice block save there by Hummerstone. Helping out your goaltender in any way you can, especially when you have to come in and relieve Alex Proctor. Here's Stiles, a shot up front, and a nice block there by Fader. And hitting the deck is Northey. Here's a chance, and that one just goes wide. There was an opportunity there. Here comes Stevens Point on the push. Jordan Fader on the move here for Stevens Point. A shot up front, that one goes wide. Northey gonna dump it behind the net here. Bunting just coming in. Ooh, nice check there by Sean Bunting. He puts a shoulder into a guy. Fader with it behind the net. Stevens Point trying to get a 2-point lead here, but Northland has been just feisty all night. Styles with it behind the net for the Lumberjacks. Now Chiarino has it. Dawson, quick wrister, nothing doing. That was a bad shot there. Nothing. There was no opening there. Now Gonrowski has it for Stevens Point, but there have been a few bad shots there by Stevens Point. As now the puck is free. Brady Smith now has it over to Gonrowski. Anderson now surveying. Stevens Point taking their time, trying to find a good shot. Here's a chance up front, and that one goes wide. Couple good looks, but
just can't seem to get it in.
Credit that defense of Northland. They're clogging up the lane as there's trying to be a goaltender. It's just blowing a tire there. Actually a swing and a miss there by Polias. Here's a chance up front again, and another save by Kerr. As a fight, kind of little extracurricular stuff, but nothing doing. As Ewing is getting into it with Omatario.
Chiarino kind of got into it with the guy right at the end. It just...
But nice save there by Kerr, and again, having a nice night for the Lumberjacks. And there was a couple chances there for Stevens Point, but getting in the lane and stopping those shots is Northland, and they're playing well tonight. They are in perfect position in this one. There's a minute and 54, plenty of time left to try to knock this one up here, but they're in good position here. Should it just be a one-score game going into the second intermission?
And like we've said, they have nothing to play for. You know, their season's, I mean, it's been pretty much over, but you know, they have one win. They're just trying to claw a win, hopefully, and maybe they get the win right here. Who knows?
Here comes Brenton as he gets hip checked there by Ide. A minute 30 to go here in this second period. In the corner, Moberg has it now for Stevens Point. Now Ide, he'll dump it up to Moline. Nice pass there by Sam Ide. And without a stick here is Ikalos, as there's a little bit of fighting alongside the boards, as there's just a loose stick there. Looked like there's some extracurricular stuff, and quickly dumping it out now into the zone and onsides here. Substitutions coming in for Stevens Point. 1 minute remaining here in this second period, and dumping it out and not being able to get it is Hummerstone. 49 seconds left here. Here comes Stevens Point. One final attack here, really, before the second intermission. Here's a chance here. Harrison Stewart up front. Stewart with a shot. That goes wide. Oh, he had a good opening there. Bunting now gets it, and it goes up and out of play.
Just off by a few inches there. I mean, few inches matter in this game. I mean, you just miss, and, you know, that could change the game right now.
31 seconds. Now, if you're Northland in this situation, this is now how you want to just get this to a 1-0 game going into second intermission. But if you're Stevens Point, this is a chance to really suck all the air out of Northland. If you can score with just 30 seconds left, that would be killer. And there's a quick shot, and the puck and the stick flies up in the air.
We got sticks flying everywhere here. I mean, we're cutting down a forest here, just sticks everywhere.
They are the Lumberjacks.
I mean, it makes sense.
They are the Lumberjacks. Face-off coming here with 27.3 seconds. Seems like both teams are kind of eager just to get into the locker room at this point. Kind of lick your wounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Julius on the draw. Northland wins that one. And the Lumberjacks trying to take this here into the second intermission. And icing, no. Yes, it is. There was a really late call there. So they already hit the boards. But 17 seconds here. Stevens Point going to get another push here to try to make this a 2-0 game.
Try to score before that period ends here.
17 on the dot. 1-0 Stevens Point on top of Northland, as the face-off is won by the Lumberjacks, and they're going to try to get it out of the zone here. Keeping it in. Now 8 seconds left in this one. Brady Smith going to bank it up here to Fletcher Anderson. And icing is going to be called with 2.3 seconds in this one. So a little fight afterwards. Nothing doing. Things are getting chippy here. And this is a 1-0 game here. And if you're Stevens Point, don't give them anything. They're in it. And nobody in this arena thought through 2 periods, is this going to be a 1-0 game? And give Northland time here in the third period, there's opportunities, and Stevens Point, things could get a little interesting here. Face-off here coming between King and Poulias. Can Northland, and they win the face-off, but nobody's home, and that is how this period is going to end. An eventful one and a little bit of extracurricular action here, but emotion kind of flaring here, partner, in this one. No score in the second period. It's 1-0 Stevens Point, but Northland playing a very good game here.
Yeah, definitely, without question. They've been showing out better than we thought they all would. I mean, only one goal through 2 periods. That's, I mean, obviously that could change this next period, but, you know, they're playing real well for, you know, how their record shows and how, you know, they've been playing the last few years.
They're playing with nothing to play for, really. They're nothing to lose. Well, with that, we're going to head into our next break here, our final intermission of regulation here. The score again, Stevens Point on top of Northland, 1-0. Now we're going to send it back to the studio for some more music right here on WWSP Stevens Point 90 FM, your only alternative. We'll see you in about 15. a welcome back here to KB World Arena. You're listening to Pointers Hockey on WWSP Stevens Point 90 FM, and you're watching it right here live on SPTV's YouTube channel. Brody, this is a 1-0 game, and if you think about it for a second, you're probably thinking 1-0. This is two really good teams playing each other. Well, based on what we've seen today, this is two good teams playing each other, but record-wise, throughout the season, Northland's got one win on the year, and they're hanging tough with a team that does not lose a lot of games right here in KB World Arena in Stevens Point.
Yeah, without question, you know, both teams really playing well tonight. Credit to Northland for, you know, showing up against the Pointers tonight, but you would think that this game would be out of hand based on the record, but not so.
There's a chance up front, some fancy passing, and you know, one thing, partner, things are getting heated here in this one as of late. Towards the end of that period, that second period, things were getting a little feisty, and both sides were kind of going at it. And Northland is, if you would have told them that they'd be within one here in the final period of regulation, they would probably have asked, where can we sign?
Yeah, where can I sign up for this one? So yeah, definitely.
It's been and like you said, you got to credit for the goaltender for the Lumberjacks. Goodness, I couldn't find it. You got to credit him. He's been playing a really good game. Yeah, he let the one in the first period, but since then he's just been an absolute stone wall, giving absolutely nothing up. And you know, another thing to talk about, Ryan Wagner is out on the ice for the Pointers as goaltender. Alex Proctor, through the midway point of the second period, left with an apparent leg injury. I don't know if I want to say a leg injury, but he couldn't walk. He had to be helped off the ice. Here's a chance at a breakaway here for Northland. A chance one-on-one here as a shot and a goal. Oh, look at this. Northland ties it up 1-1 as Ryan Wagner gets beat by Brock Weimer, and the Lumberjacks are alive and well.
That's just killed all the momentum point right now. They got to be shaking their heads on that one. That's not good for the Pointers here.
1-1 is the score here. Northland ties this up in a game that this could be one of their best games on the year, and Northland ties it up. Can Stevens Point respond? An absolute missile by David Hill, and Kerr takes it right to the shoulder. But the Lumberjacks have tied this one up on a breakaway, and now Kerr getting a little attention here for the Lumberjacks.
I mean, that was a hard shot.
That was a wicked slap there by David Hill. Now Stevens Point faced with a little bit of adversity here. The game's tied up, and you're thinking to yourself, you're tied 1-1 with the record-wise the worst team in the WIAC, but Northland is giving you everything you can handle. It was the exact same way last week against Eau Claire, but Northland looking to actually get a win this time, and there was a chance in the slot, but Tice couldn't keep his feet. And now Stevens Point still trying to get the puck here. Ide now has it. Now it goes to the stick of Jake Tice. Now the puck squirts free, and Brenton has it. Alongside the boards, Quentin Hill now has it for Stevens Point. 17:55 here in this third and final regulation period. Northland quick to the draw here to start this one out. They tied it up 1-1. Here's Stevens Point. What can they do here? As hitting the deck there is Quentin Hill, and now the puck goes out to center ice. Mick Hennigan now has it here for Stevens Point. Isaac Moberg now gets it over to Quentin Hill. He gets it across the line, and now Cody Moline with it for Stevens Point. Moberg gets it to Hill. Quentin Hill, that is. Now Lambert has it for the Lumberjacks. Puck squirts up in the air, and now Northland has it, and no change here. Offsides, I think, was the call against Stevens Point here. But man, what a start to this period for the Lumberjacks, and to their credit, they were hanging around this whole time. Stevens Point had opportunities to jump ahead by 2, and it's a 1-1 game here, and you can kind of feel the Pointers. This isn't an area that they thought they would be in with Northland, And to their credit, Northland is hanging tough here, and they are in it.
Yeah, definitely. They're really trying to, a little chippy down by the goal right here.
As Harrison Stewart is being held up. 17:06 to go here. 1-1 is the score. Stevens Point on top of Northland. The Lumberjacks, you just can't get over how well they have played in this one. I mean, they had nobody thinking that they could come in here and compete with Stevens Point. Now there's 17 minutes and 6 seconds left. Anything can happen in this one. But up until this point, if you're Northland, you are sure as heck proud of the performance you have put on here today.
Oh, no question about it. In the last few weeks, you know, against Eau Claire, that performance was, I mean, could have been even better if they won. But, you know, the performances that they have tonight and that night, you know, phenomenal.
Reno, and there was a chance there for Fletcher Anderson to retake the lead, but nothing doing. Kerr with another great save. But this is a 3-game stretch here for Northland where they have played tremendous in 3 games. But can they actually get a win out of it? Last 2 efforts against Eau Claire have been no good here for the Lumberjacks, but now Stevens Point here trying to get the offense set. Here's a chance up front, nothing doing. Nice block there by Kerr, and the Pointers have to reset offensively. Gunrowski now with it, he dumps it up, and icing will be called. There is just a feel to this Northland team right now. They're not, like we said, they've got nothing to play for. They are playing with house money right now, and they are just cool, calm, and collective, all the momentum in their favor. But man, this has been one of the better games you're going to see defensively. Offensively, there's not a lot of fireworks happening here, but defensively, you couldn't ask for much more of a game right now, partner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's credit to both sides. Both sides have been playing defense pretty well.
Here's a chance, another man who scored the goal here, Weimer, for the Lumberjacks. That shot goes up and wide here as Northland is on the attack again. Tripping and falling, and here comes Stevens Point. A chance for a 3-on-2 if they hustle. Here comes Bunting. Here's a chance for Gunrowski. That shot goes wide. Another chance up front, and a stick. And the puck is poked away, and losing a stick, a delayed penalty by Stevens Point. And here comes a power play for Northland, as it looks like somebody just high sticking. I think they're going to get as they just took the stick out of Taylor's hand. But here's a chance for Northland, and can you believe it, to take the lead here if they can convert on the power play.
And now, you know, the Pointers have a good penalty kill here, but the way the momentum is swung, it's in favor of Northland right now. And realistically, you want the Pointers to just try to stop it here, but it's not looking good for them right now.
It certainly isn't, but Northland is playing with all the confidence in the world right now here, and a chance to take the lead as that shot is saved by Wagner. Slashing is the call there on Noah Falls. Brody, I saw you were looking at some of the scores on the WIAC.
Still 1-0 Superior over Stout in just the beginning of the third period. Same thing with River Falls, up 1-0 against Eau Claire, beginning of the third period.
Here comes Northland. Stevens Point is going to lay off. And they're both here. Lumberjacks trying to set up the offense here to try to take the lead for the first time tonight. Northland, the last place team, trying to take out the first place team in all of the WIAC here.
And that would be a huge win if they can get it here.
A place that nobody has come in to win a WIAC game in KB Willett. Nobody has won a conference game here on the road. Jake Tice with it in the corner. Sam Ide will dump it out of the zone as Stiles keeps it at center ice for Northland. Dumping it in, and now behind the net is Sam Ide. Ide will dump it out again, and that will force Northland to reset. Kerr comes out to play it. He'll hand it off to Varga. Pass over to Ewing, and now across the ice. Here comes Northland on the push. Handoff there. There's a chance up front here. Weimer with a shot, and another block there by Stevens Point. Another pass to the slot. That one goes wide, looking for Andrew Lewiski. Weimer to Ewing, the whiskey at top, calling for it. Now he mishandles it, now regathers it. 14-15 to go here in this third period of regulation. Ewing with it, he'll snap a shot off, that one goes wide. Wagner tried to stick the stick up and get it. Ewing keeps it in the zone here. Excuse me, that was Lewiski now. Collette with it, nice pass intercepted there by Stevens Point. They try to get it out of the zone. Here's Northland, the chance up front again, and is it a save there by Wagner? 1 second left on the power play. Substitutions will come in for both sides here. Almost crisis averted for the moment for Stevens Point, but Northland is playing so well right now, partner.
Yeah, they really are.
This is dangerous territory here as we approach the midway point here in the third period for Stevens Point. Face-off won here by Stevens Point, and here comes Sean Bunting on the move. Bunting gonna slow it down and pass it to nobody, and now Stevens Point's gonna have to reset. What a disastrous play there, almost as Stevens Point had a chance offensively, maybe on a push here. Potential 3-on-2 opportunity, pass to the slot, but nobody is home for Stevens Point again.
And that's the problem with the Pointers tonight, just missing passes and, I mean, setting up opportunities for shots here.
As the puck squirts free as it now goes to the stick of Noah Falls. Falls will fall, and here's a delayed penalty on Northland. So Stevens Point now with an opportunity of their own on the power play, and potentially a much needed opportunity to get a score again here.
You would hope they do it here. I mean, really hope.
13-16 here as there's conversations being had. As looks like the player didn't want just 2 minutes, they're gonna say. Lines judge is kind of talking about it here a little bit.
Yeah, Ilko's 55. I mean, he's not happy with the call, but
is there two? I think is there going to be 2 guys going in?
That might be huge for the Pointers here if they can get 2 penalties.
There is 2 guys in there for Northland.
Maybe somebody on the bench talking. It's hard to tell.
Ilko's, but there's still 4 players out there for Northland, so interesting.
Looks like they're getting Josh King on the call here.
I think you're right. Maybe they did just get King for just kind of chirping with officials, but there's 2 guys in the box here for Northland. Regardless, it's a power play for Stevens Point. Chiarino going to get it to Polias, and he scores!
Something they really haven't done all year. That is huge for the Pointers, and now the momentum has swung.
Stevens Point nets one. Only 7 seconds into the power play, and they take a 2-1 lead here with 13:10 to go. What a sequence of events. Just utter really confusion, and staying in the net is Illos for Northland, but Stevens Point gets the score, and they lead it 2-1. What a play there. Now Northland having to come from behind again. They played so well up to this point. Kerr had played so well, and it just snuck in. Yeah, even with that goal, Kerr has played a tremendous game. But is Northland 10 minutes? I think they said Josh King hit with an unsportsmanlike, I think they said 10 minutes.
I believe so. Him or Ilkos is getting the 10 minutes here, so.
But it's a 5-on-5 here, so it must have been something with the bench, so nothing that was said on ice. I mean, if you're on the bench, they're not going to give you a man advantage because nobody on the ice said that, as there's another chance here for Stevens Point. But yeah, it's one of those situations where if it's just somebody on the bench and they get hit with it, I mean, he must have really said something bad to get a 10-minute misconduct, but it's not going to affect the skaters on the ice at the moment because it's still going to be 5-on-5.
Yeah, and you don't want to get down, but you still have how many guys on the bench to cover for you, but it can be a blow.
Can be a blow, especially if it's a key player, as Quinton Hill is going to dump it into the zone. Stevens Point, you can tell, kind of playing a little bit with more of that swagger here in this one. They lead it 2-1 over Northland. They had been fighting all game to stay in this one. And a nice poke check there by Stevens Point. Here's a chance of a breakaway if they can get it up the ice quickly. And that puck just flutters away. Man, there was an opportunity there, but again, bad passes by Stevens Point.
Yeah. It looks like King was out on the ice, so Ilkos must have the 10-minute call here.
Icing going to be waved off there as Wagner was calling for it. Here comes Falls on the push for Stevens Point. No Falls between the legs. Fancy puck work, nothing doing. Looked like it hit the side of the net there. Ooh, it's a dangerous pass up front as Falls poked it away and Kerr wisely jumped on top of it. That could have been disastrous for the Lumberjacks there. 11:03 to go here in this third period of regulation, third and final period of regulation, I will add. Northland has been fighting up to this point. They got to net one more and try to get this one to overtime, but they have been playing well all game. But the momentum has now all swung in favor of Stevens Point. Up the ice is Collette. Behind the net, the puck goes. Fighting for it is Hummerstone. Open man in the corner as that shot looked like it was deflected off of a pointer. And now another shot on goal and a nice pad save there by Wagner. Still some extra stuff going on. Tempers are flaring here, and as you get into the later stage of this one, you got to keep your composure because you don't want to give up a silly penalty that could result in potentially a game-tying score.
Exactly, and plus, you guys play tomorrow. You know, fight it out tomorrow, and you know, I get that things are tense right now, but you got to just keep your cool and hopefully not get a penalty.
Face-off coming here. Polias loses the draw and Northland wins it. And oh, nice shoulder check there by, I think that was number 34, Jake Lamberty. He just laid the wood on Andrew Polias. Now fighting for it in the corner here. Armatario now comes away with it for Stevens Point. It finds its way to Fletcher Anderson. Now up to Sciarino. Here comes Dawson on the move. Dawson, 1-on-2. Almost just goes out the outstretched arms of Brady Smith. Hollow has it, and Stevens Point. Potentially a chance of interference there for Stevens Point. Here's a slap shot. That goes wide. Julius missed it. Here comes Brown on the push. 2-on-1 opportunity here for the Lumberjacks. Brown with a shot, and that one goes out wide. Quickly resending it back in and just losing it. Now Point going to try to dump it out of the zone as that goes out of play.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Festival Foods.
Definitely staying chippy tonight. I mean, Ide's just getting thrown around over there, but
Ide's a big guy. He can take it, but you're right. There's definitely some emotion that has been, as of late, even towards the later stages of the second period, there has been just a lot of emotion being poured out onto this ice. And if you're Northland, you really can't blame them. You've been competing for this whole game, and you're still in it. By no means are you out of it, but frustration is starting to boil over if you've been in it this long and Point scores to take the lead. As we are now past the halfway point here in the third period, Brody, there are some updates of scores, but we'll get to that in a moment. How does Stevens Point attack this final 9 minutes and 47 seconds to come away with the victory?
Realistically, you just got to get your passes set up for shots and maybe take more shots on Kerr. You know, he can get out of position very quickly, and you know that might lead to more goals and kind of give you a comfortable lead. But also, you got to keep your composure too against these guys. You know, they're looking to fight you, they're looking to take you out, and you hope to not get a penalty out of it.
Yeah, and go ahead, your updates here.
We have a few updates around the WIAC. Still 1-0 River Falls over Eau Claire with a 9:43 left in the third period, and it's 2-0 Stout with 10:32 left in the third period. So
Stevens Point needs to finish this one out. There's plenty of time in this one for Northland, but should the scores stay the way that they are right now, everything is playing out in favor of Stevens Point. But they have 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go here.
Did I say Stout? Superior's up 2-0 right now. Okay.
So Superior's up 2-0 here on Stout. Now wrap around as Wilson Northey has it. Jake Tice, puck flutters free, and here come the Lumberjacks. A chance for a 3-on-1. Beautiful defensive close there by Stevens Point. but the puck squirts free, and there was another shot. There's a laser that goes nowhere. Nick Hennigan now has it. If you're Stevens Point, you probably just want to get it out of the zone here. As Hennigan now does to poke it free and sends it right back in the zone, debuting. Fresh legs for both sides here. 9 minutes to go here in this third period. And Ide wisely is just slowing this one down and is going to set up the transition offense here. Jordan Fader now has it for Stevens Point onside. Here's a chance here right up front. Noah falls, and beautiful defense there by Kerr. Just nothing for the Pointers, as that's another pad save. Just kind of effortlessly just stuck the mid out and just said, all right, we just get this
just
out of the
enough
way.
to get it.
But really, Kerr, when it's been a man advantage, I don't think Stevens Point has scored while there has been an advantage here. Both times they've scored on the power play here tonight. Jordan Fader going to face off against Collette and win it, and Stevens Point now will have possession. A quick snap pass over, and oh, that shot hits Bunting right on the shoulder. So friendly fire, and quickly up the ice come the Lumberjacks. Wagner comes out of the net to play the puck and hands it off to Hummerstone. Brett will quickly get it up to Falls and sending that back in. Wow, that fortuitously hit a defender, and that puck goes out wide. Looks like Taylor took the brunt of that shot, and here comes another shot. That one goes wide. But Brody, it hit Taylor, went to the stick of another Lumberjack that looked like Brendan Charlton, and he got another shot off. That was
very
dangerous.
close.
That was very close there for the Lumberjacks.
At just a few inches down, and he probably had it.
Here comes Stevens Point fighting for the puck here at center ice. Hummerstone comes away with it and just dumps it into the offensive zone and gets a line change here. Now, if you're Stevens Point, it's that point you're up by 1 here, and Northland is playing just tremendous here today. They've been playing with, like we said, house money. They got nothing to play for. Icing will be called here on Stevens Point, but you want to milk this clock here. Do not give them time here, because you don't want to let them get a tie here with more time left on the clock here.
They're eventually going to score.
Right.
It's fortuitous. I mean, they've been playing really well tonight, despite how the record shows. They're really showing out against these Pointers. So you hope to just milk the clock out and hopefully come away with a 2-1 lead or more goals.
Lamberty going to face off against Pugliese, and the Pointers are going to win this face off here. Omataria is going to bank it up the ice as the puck squirts free and now goes to Weimer. Weimer scored the only goal here for the Lumberjacks tonight on a breakaway and just beat Ryan Wagner. Puck is going to now go to the stick of Kerr as Chiarino races down the ice to play it. Here comes Fletcher Anderson now with it for Stevens Point. Anderson curling, Anderson gonna shoot and lose it. Here's another chance of a breakaway, and Lamberty has it, and poking, oh, beautiful closeout defensively there by Hennigan, but the Lumberjacks get it once again. But yeah, there was a chance there at a breakaway, and Ryan Wagner got beat earlier, but great defense there by Hennigan.
You know, one thing the Pointers can also do to hopefully, just pull away with this game, can't let those breakaway, shots, giving up those breakaways to allow Northland to try and score.
There's a chance here. Moberg intercepts that play behind the net, and just having to cover it. Oh, dangerously leaping out was Kerr, and there's a delayed penalty coming, and now Wagner doesn't see it. Now he comes out of the net. They're going to get the extra defender. Stevens Point pulls the goalie, so they're going to get the extra defender. So it's 6-on-5 here at the moment, and it will stay that. Looked like it for sure hit a Lumberjack. Dangerously now there's an empty net here for Stevens Point. Let's see what they do here with the man advantage here. Quickly coming across ice here. Hummerstone has it, gets it over to Fader. Fader wisely exits and back to center ice here. Here comes Stevens Point. Hummerstone with it, and I think offsides is going to stop that.
I think this is the longest I've seen a delayed penalty go between both teams.
Regardless, Stevens Point is going to get a face-off and a power play here. And this could be a game-defining moment here, Brody. If Stevens Point can score and make this 3-1, with only 5:43 to go here in the third period, you gotta like their chances at being able to pull this one off. As Stevens Point, just about loses it, and it will stay in the zone, but now they have to retreat, and the offense is gonna have to reset here. Cross-checking is the call here as Stevens Point dumps it into the zone, and now they're gonna set up the offense here, or they're just gonna turn it over, and Northland's gonna send it out. Good play here by the Lumberjacks early in this power play, as Stevens Point has yet to set their offense up. Quickly up the ice is Romatario. Here comes Nick. Puts on the brakes. Open man is Smith. He now gets it to it. Now Stevens Point going to set up that offense. Very wise play. If you remember, there was a couple of points in that sequence where it was 6-on-5 empty net. They kind of just took their losses and went out of the zone to maintain that man advantage. Oh, wow. Nice way to thread it through to thread that puck through the legs, and here comes Bunting, a 1-on-3, does not have numbers. Sean gets it over to Sciarrino, and Sciarrino loses it. Now he gets it back, and that shot goes out of play. Kerr again, just really owning the crease here for the Lumberjacks, and yeah, he's let 2 in here, but ultimately
he's doing a fantastic job.
If Northland loses this game, you cannot pin it on him.
I definitely
they've had
would not.
opportunities. They had a 5-minute major penalty, which they failed to score on. The only instances where Northland scored tonight was on a breakaway, but they have a chance here. It's 4:30 to go here in this final period of regulation. Stevens Point leads Northland 2-1. Listening to Pointers Hockey right here on WWSP. Stevens Point, 90 FM, and watching it live here on SPTV. Jordan Fader gonna wrap around the net here.
Gotta try to do something with a little less than
25
20 seconds here. So
Sciarrino now has it, gets it over to Pulias. Now a slap shot coming in again. That shot goes nowhere, blocked there by a Lumberjack. Anderson now has it, doesn't know what to do with it. Here's Sciarrino up front, loses it now over to Anderson. 10 seconds left on the power play here for Stevens Point. Pulias now has it, gets it to the slot to Sciarrino. That shot goes up front. Puck flutters up in the air, and now the Lumberjacks are going to send it out of the zone here, and they kill off the penalty. So great job there by Northland. Stewart now gets it for Stevens Point. Just about 3 minutes and 32 seconds to go here in this one. Pointers trying to salt this one away and win it. Northland trying to tie this one up and send it to overtime as a breakaway by Quentin Hill. Opportunity is snuffed out. This defense for Northland has just been swarming all night.
yeah, definitely, without question. They've been showing out tonight against a Pointer team like this with a top flight offense.
Here comes Hill. Chance of a 2-on-3 here for Stevens Point. Here's Hummerstone. Hummerstone loses it. Beautiful play there by Weimer as he plugs it in the way. Now Ewing with a chance of a 2-on-1 here. Good close defensively. And a whistle. Some extracurricular stuff happened there between Quentin Hill and I think that's number 15, Luke Hardig. Or no, I think
25.
That's 25. That's Trey Taylor. But a face-off coming. I think they got Northland for offsides there. 2:53, you know. Brody, I'm going to pose the question to you. You're under 2 here. At what point, should the score stay this, does Northland pull Kerr and give themselves that extra attacker?
You know, if they're on the offense enough, maybe pull him, but it just, you'd almost hate to pull him because he's just playing so well, and with the Pointers' offensive attack,
Somebody
it's
broke
kind of
a
tough.
stick, so there's only really 5-on-4 right now, and a Pointers without a stick. Gonrowski doesn't have one, and now he'll go to the bench here. Now Stevens Point, that's big for them because it was in essence a power play for Northland because, I mean, Gonrowski was not really even in the play. Now Stevens Point has it. We're almost under 2 to go here.
Looks like a glove's also
Somebody
down on
lost
the
a
ice.
glove. Don't see who. Now Ewing has it, and just tapping that is Petrie with it from Northland, tapping the glove out of play here. A lot of congestion in front of Wagner as the puck squirts underneath the legs of a Lumberjack and out of play here. Bunting fighting for it alongside the boards. Now Weimer has it. Weimer going to be picked up defensively by Smith. shot up front there, congestion, and Stevens Point is going to try to clear it here. Minute 45 to go here in this third period, and trying to race down the ice to prevent icing, and they do finally wave it off here. But you got to think at the next opportunity as the puck exits the zone that Northland will be close to pulling their goaltender, but they're not giving him the opportunity as Stevens Point. Here's Mober, falls with it. Puck squirts free, and here comes Northland, and they will pull the goaltender as Kerr is calling for it. As that was kind of a swing and a miss there by Proctor, but we're getting close to a minute remaining in this one, and the goaltender is still not being pulled for Northland.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just gonna try to keep him in just to maybe hold off a Pointer's attack here, but it's just at some point you got to do it.
If you're Stevens Point, this favors you because one, there's a lot of time coming off the clock. There's a minute remaining here in the third period of regulation. Now, if you're Stevens Point, just chew up this clock here, Brody.
Yeah, definitely, without question. You got to try to chew these 53.5 seconds left. Also, another glove down on the ice for Northland.
Everybody's just losing their equipment.
I mean, the gloves aren't down yet. You guys got to put them on and try to fight for a victory here. Looks like a timeout for Northland.
Yeah, they've been fighting all game. They've been in this from opening face-off till right now. And if you're Stevens Point, this is not how you figured this game was going to go.
No,
you're
definitely
going
not.
against the 1-19-1 team, a team that nobody thought had any chance of coming into this one, and let alone competing and potentially winning this game. You're 53.5 seconds away. Right now, this is just attack and chew up clock right now. Chew up clock. There's 53 seconds left. And I don't know, do they pull the goaltender off the draw here? Because neither side has possession of it. And give yourself that extra attacker. No, Kerr is going to go back to the net here for the Lumberjacks. But I guess it has to do with the fact that Stevens Point really never lost possession of it. But I'm just really surprised they never pulled the goaltender.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to, the Pointers have been on the attack a little bit in this period, but also, I mean, Northland's doing a really good job at, getting down the ice and getting those breakaways and being able to set up their offense. But, maybe you do pull the goalie soon, but, it's tough to pull the goalie against a Pointers team like this who can, they can score at will if they need to.
Face-off, tie-up, win by Stevens Point, and here it comes. 53 seconds left. You just want to chew up the clock. And a glove save there by Kerr. Probably wise to just hold on to it and stop that clock. Because if you put it down, that chews up more time. But yeah, right now you can't pull it because Kerr is, well, he's in the play. Face-off coming, Colette and Omatario, or Pulias, excuse me. Now Tice in the corner. Moberg intercepts it for Stevens Point. A shot, oh my goodness, what a save. Kerr just gobbled it up.
That's a huge save out of him, and it gives Northland more of a chance now.
That would have been a game ender if Stevens Point could have connected there. I don't think the clock ran because it still says 37 seconds left. Face-off, shot goes wide here. Under 30 here to go. And here comes Northland on the attack. They will pull Kerr now. Get that extra attacker with the final 25 seconds here. Northland will have a 6-on-5 here. Stevens Point going to try to get an empty netter to try to finish this one off. Chance up front, and a score! And Northland ties it with 16 seconds to go.
Oh no.
Oh my
man.
Goodness.
That's a huge goal.
Whoa. What a play. All Stevens Point needed to do was just chew the clock. And with 16.1 seconds to go, Northland has tied it up. Oh my goodness.
Where was this Northland team all year? Wow.
Face-off, tie-up, Stevens Point tries to get it, and looks like both sides are just playing for overtime now. Omatario has it, Bunting with it. Here's a pass in front, 6 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are going to overtime. What a period by Northland. They just did not go away. And they pull the goaltender with, they must have known something we didn't, partner. But they pull the goaltender with 30 seconds to go, and they strike. And this game is tied. What a game.
Wow, that's something you wouldn't expect out of tonight, especially with a Northland team that's 1-19-1. Wow.
I mean, what a game. Josh King scores the goal for the Lumberjacks. But what a game by Northland. They have been in it from beginning to end. They never gave up, and they tied up in the later stages. This is a team that they have had nothing to play for. They are 1-19-1, on the verge of losing. All Stevens Point had to do was just keep the puck in the offensive zone, and the game is over. Instead, we have overtime here in KB Willett Arena. And of all teams in the WIAC to give Stevens Point a run for their money at home,
it's the 1-19-1 Northland Lumberjacks.
A team that hasn't won since 2019. They have never won here in KB Willett Arena. They have not won a game against Stevens Point since 2019. Can they do it here tonight?
The way they're playing right now, they got a lot of momentum going their way, and it might happen, but who knows? You know, you got their goalies down by the Pointers' end, so, you know, you got that student section, you know, chirping them on, and hopefully the Pointers can do something here. That's all you got to ask for.
It'll be a 5-minute overtime period. So if Stevens Point wins it in overtime, it's 2 points, opposed to the 3 regulation points you get, which, thinking for a standpoint of, you look at it for opposing teams like Superior and Stout and
Superior won 3-1. So this is, I mean, for Superior, they're looking at this game and they're saying, wow, we might actually have a shot.
Superior, if Stevens Point loses, Point gets no point, and Superior right now will have they have 28 points on the season. And regardless of the outcome, Stevens Point will not have the most points in the WIAC. The most they can get right now is 27.
Yeah, it's something you don't want to see the Pointers get, but
if you're Superior, you're probably the biggest Northland fans on the planet right now. Face-off is won, so 3-on-3 hockey here for 5 minutes. Should it go any longer than that, we go into shootouts. Here comes Ewing and Northland with it. Stevens Point now has it. 2-on-1 opportunity. Falls going to try to win it here in overtime. Loses it. Now here comes Northland. On the attack, here comes Varga for the Lumberjacks. A shot, no, he misses. It goes wide. Oh, what a collision into the boards. And here comes Stevens Point. 2-on-1 opportunity. 3-on-1 opportunity for Stevens Point. Hummerstone now with it. Hummerstone going to try to light up the net. Goes up front and a block by Carr. 3-on-1, and they can do nothing with it.
They're just trying to set something up here.
Smith gets it to Anderson. Here comes Fletcher. Fakes the handoff. Anderson scored the first goal tonight. Can he score the game winner? And a pass to the slot, nothing doing. 2-on-1 opportunity now. Nice block there by Hennigan. Julius now has it, gets it over to Mick. Quickly up the ice. Here comes Anderson on a breakaway, but a beautiful poke there by Coet. Now the puck squirts free, gets it over to the stick of Hennigan, but too wide. Here's Hennigan, now he pokes it free. Stevens Point now with it. Julius gets it to Sciarrino, calling for it. Dawson now has it. Oh, another opportunity for Stevens Point. Sciarrino gets it behind the net. Tries to get it to his teammate, losing control of it. Collette fighting tough down there behind the net. Moberg now comes in for Stevens Point. Up top, Sciarrino has it. Now enters back into center ice.
You know, Sciarrino known for these, you know, type of plays to just finish it out, especially against that Superior game here early in the season.
Control of it is Sciarrino, and here comes Northland on the push. Moberg back defensively, putting on the brakes here, and here comes Northland. Pass in the slot, and now the Lumberjacks are going to set up the offense. Brown with it. Brown's just going to skate back to center ice. Sione with it now for Northland as they hesitate back to their own defensive zone. And now Northland comes here on the attack. 2:42 to go here in overtime. Can the Lumberjacks win a game in the WIAC in KB Willett Arena? Bad substitution there. Nice poke there by Moberg. Now here comes Stevens Point. Stevens Point's going to slow it down as they regain possession here. Wilson Northey going to go up the ice now. Wilson now going to slow it down for Stevens Point. Good closing eye Weimer there for the Lumberjacks. Racing around the net. Northey going to almost lose it. Now they enter back to center ice. Now Stevens Point just does not look set here, partner.
They just don't look ready to set something up here, and hopefully right now they are. I don't know.
Up the ice. Here comes Fader. Fader now with the attack. Here comes Jordan. Oh, Mose hits it, and it now goes free. Oh my goodness. Just about a game winner there for Jordan Fader, but it goes wide. Now Gunrowski with it. Nick with the shot, and that goes in front of the pad as Kerr makes another save.
Wow.
1:36 to go here in overtime.
Score updates: Superior wins 3-1, and River Falls wins 1-0 against Eau Claire.
So with 1:36, Stevens Point needs to net this one. Again, if they win out, they win the WIAC. But Northland is certainly making this a little bit more difficult, as King didn't know where the puck was, and now they send it up ice to Varga. Varga now loses it. Hennigan has it. 1:20 to go here in the overtime period. Pass is intercepted here, and it's 2-on-1 here for the Lumberjacks. And now Stevens Point, a chance of a breakaway. They quickly get it up the ice to Fletcher Anderson. Here's 1-on-1. Fletcher Anderson shoots, and a save. Kerr just is a monster in the crease tonight.
Wow.
Minute to go here in the overtime period. Polias has it. Opportunities were there for Stevens Point. They cannot convert. Fletcher Anderson with a shot. That one's just blocked by the pad of Kerr. The Lumberjacks clear the zone. 44 seconds here before shootouts. Sciarrino puts the brakes on. Sciarrino puts it up front, and nobody home. And a takedown, no penalty. I think they're going to say incidental contact here. 30 seconds to go in the overtime period. Hennigan now with it. Wraps around the net. Mick going to hand it off and take a tumble as the puck still is with Jordan Fader. Fader, the captain of this team. Can he deliver a win here? Wraparound pass up front. Nothing doing. Sciarrino has it. Sciarrino now. Can he score? No. Pass up front. No. Where's the puck? It falls down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that will do it for overtime. And we are going to shootouts.
Wow. Wow. You would never expect this out of this game tonight. Wow. That's all you got to say.
Northland taking Stevens Point the distance, regardless of the outcome of the shootouts. Both sides are going to get points here tonight. Yeah, what a game by Northland to just hang around with Stevens Point. Regardless of the outcome, it's going to go down as a tie. So Northland has not lost the game against Stevens Point.
They tied the 10th ranked pointers in KB Willett Arena, mind you. I mean, that in itself is already the best highlight of your season.
Right now, this is just get points.
And there's still another game tomorrow, guys.
There's another game tomorrow. This is some of the best hockey you're going to see, and it's coming from, and no insult, meaning it's coming from a 1-19-1 team. You're coming into KB Willett Arena and playing Stevens Point. And, you know, barring the outcome of tomorrow, this game could have massive impacts on how the WIAC shapes up.
It pretty much is already. You know, you tie a team like Northland, you're probably gonna drop in the standings for sure. As we're getting ready for the shootout here, as Ewing is set to go out.
So Ewing gonna be the first man on the ice for the Lumberjacks. One on mano y mano. Ewing goes wide. Wagner gets the first. Doesn't really need to save it. But the shot goes wide, and Fletcher Anderson on the ice for Stevens Point.
I believe Fletcher Anderson was the one that scored the goal against, or the shootout victory against St. Norbert early this season.
Chris Kerr, he's been a magician in the crease all night for Northland. Can he make another stop? A shot and a score! Fletcher Anderson strikes first for Stevens Point.
I think if you just get Kerr out of position, it really helps out the Pointers here. I mean, he's been in the right position all night, and it's really helped him out, but now, yikes.
A save and a score, and Stevens Point wins the shootout. Weimer with one of the only scores of the night for Northland. Can he score? No!
Not even close. Wow.
A chance to finish this one off with a shootout victory for Stevens Point.
Shooting next for the Pointers.
A chance to put this away. Andrew Polias, can he do it for Stevens Point? Kerr led it in the first one here in the shootout. Here comes Polias. Polias with a shot and a save. Great play there by Kerr. Now, Wagner can end it for Stevens Point. Third and final attacker here for the Lumberjacks in this first shootout. Connor Taylor needs to get it. If the Lumberjacks do not get it, Stevens Point will win the shootout. Here comes Taylor. Wagner set. Here he comes. Taylor with a shot and a score.
Just snuck in there.
Now, Stevens Point, Wilson Northey. If he puts this in, Stevens Point wins the shootout. Here comes Northey. Has the puck in his stick. Kerr just made a big stop. Here comes Kerr. Shot and a save. Whoa.
Yikes.
Shooting next for the Lumberjacks. Number 15.
Now
Hartage.
Hartage with it. Hartage now comes up the ice. Wagner just let one in the net. Can he come up with some more magic here? Hartage, he scores!
Wow.
Now Stevens Point needs it. Can Sciarrino deliver, or will Northland win the shootout? Here comes Sciarrino. Dawson, can he score? No, he cannot. And Northland wins the shootout over Stevens Point. What a game for Chris Kerr and the Northland Lumberjacks. They come into KB Willett Arena, a place they have not won in their entirety of being in the WIAC, and they win in shootouts.
Wow. That's all you could say. Wow, that's a huge win or a huge shootout win out of them.
And with a team who had nothing to play for, absolutely nothing. The Lumberjacks win the game here in shootouts. What a game for the Lumberjacks. What a time, just what a performance. There's really nothing else you can say. Northland clutch when they needed to, and they came up with victories. They came up with a victory here. What a game for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, no question about it. They really played well, and it hurts the Pointers, but we still got another game tomorrow night. A lot of things can change.
A game tomorrow night, and if you're the Superior Yellow Jackets, everything could not have played out better for you tonight.
You're just licking your chops looking at this game. Wow.
They have 2 games against Stevens Point next week to decide the fate of the WIAC.
And they're up in Superior.
And it's up in Superior. And Brody, this game today with Stevens Point losing in shootouts could very well determine how the WIAC will finish out.
Yeah, definitely, without question, especially, Northland, a team 1-19-1. It's something that you don't want to lose to a team like that. It's a brutal loss for the Pointers, or a shootout loss for the Pointers. But it can hurt your standing in the WIAC. It also hurts your standing in the country.
Regardless of the outcome tomorrow, Stevens Point will go down in the NCAA polls. It's just a formality because you lose in shootouts to the type of opponent. Now, Northland played a tremendous game. Chris Kerr played outstanding for the Lumberjacks. But for Stevens Point, you're the #1 team in the WIAC, and you're going against a team that has only one win on the entire year. You're expected to win like 5-0. They lose in shootouts to Northland in the first game. Now, maybe this will have a long-lasting impact here on the way that this season plays out, partner.
Yeah, without question. You got to just finish. Now for the points, you just got to finish the season out and hopefully win the rest of their games in regulation. I mean, that will really go a long way to winning the WIAC. And we still got a WIAC tournament to play, too. So this game will definitely make a huge difference in terms of the WIAC tournament.
Well, with that, Brody, I think that's really all we can say on this one. A tremendous game by Northland. They hung around all night long. They forced it to overtime. 16 seconds were left when they tied the game up. I mean, Stevens Point had the game won with 30 seconds, but Northland ties it up. They push it to overtime. We go to shootouts, and Northland wins in shootouts. Well, that is going to do it for our broadcast here on 90 FM and SPTV. I want to thank you guys all for watching. For Brody Kupsky and Maddy Larson on camera, great job work by Maddy. I'm Will Haroldson. We're going to say good night, and we will see you